Hi guys, welcome back to the Alpha Customs YouTube channel. So today we have this BMW X1 which is in for a subwoofer install. So currently the car has just standard BMW speakers with a standard sound system. But today we're going to get this changed to a subwoofer which the customer has supplied us with, and with an external amp. So currently the music in here is pretty dead according to English grime or English slang, or you can call it whack. However, the audio on this car is currently not great, so we're going to improve it to give a clear bass and a clear sound while the customer is driving and enjoying his drive. But before we get into that, make sure to subscribe and follow our channel to follow the Alpha Customs journey. So let's go and check out the audio that's currently on the car, and we'll go from there and start the actual process of installing the subwoofer. So if you want to follow me, check out this current audio. So let's listen to this so far. So if I open the door, these are from the speakers. If I open the back, this is how it sounds right now. So as you can hear, it's not that great and there's no bass to the actual car, and the customer is pretty young, so I know he would love a subwoofer in his car, who we will see at the end of the video. So make sure to stay for the whole video and you'll see the customer's reaction to how his subwoofer reacts, or how his expressions are towards the subwoofer install that we do today. So let's get crack-a-lacking and start this build. So some of you might be asking the question, what subwoofer? I didn't see no subwoofer. So this is the subwoofer that the customer has provided for us. So as you can see, this is one big subwoofer with a 1800 watt amp. So this is an external amp which we're going to wire up to the subwoofer, and this thing is going to be one loud subwoofer. But we're going to see what the customer says about it at the end. And for the time being, let's start wiring this bad boy and let's get this cracking, guys. Time to take this car into the operation theatre, and here's the tools. Let's start the diagnosis and get this operation underway. So you would also need screwdrivers too to remove the actual radio, to wire the whole RCA converter and the RCA cables and the remote cable all the way to the back. So screwdriver is important, as well as actual sockets that you will use to remove the battery too. Okay, now that I've taken out the radio, I need to get the RCA converter and the remote wires onto this actual speaker wiring and the actual unit of the radio. So let's go to the back and let me show you the wires that I've got too, because I didn't show you that at the start. So let me show you that now. So these are the wires. This is going to be the wire for the actual positive of the battery. This is the ground wire. This is the remote wire, which is used from the amp to the actual stereo to signify when to turn on the sub and when to turn it off. This is the RCA cables which we put onto the stereo, and these are speaker wire which we attach from the amp to the actual subwoofer, and this is going to be the RCA converter. And also, when installing a subwoofer, make sure that you put a fuse in between the actual battery and this wire. Now that everything is wired for the RCA converter, let's do a test run with the actual remote cable and the RCA cables that are going to go into here, and let's wire up the actual subwoofer and let's see if it works before we start routing the wires and hiding it inside, because the last thing you want to do is start wiring everything up and put it back together and do the last bit and find out it doesn't work. So to avoid that, always make sure that you do a test run, check the wires are working check that the fuses are working, check that the speaker wires are working before you actually put everything back together. So let's go and do that. So this is the RCA cable which we're going to route up there, and we're just going to put it through, and then we're just going to attach it to the RCA converter at the start. And then after this, we've got the actual ground here, and the positive wire which we're going to wire up to the battery, as well as the speaker wire which we're going to put from here, from the actual amp to the subwoofer. And on this amp there's no fuses inside, so we've got fuses here which we're going to put into these so that it works too. So let's get going. So I've just put the RCA cable through, and now we've got the end bit which is going to go into the actual amp. So here you can see low input, high input. Put them in here, check it. So that bit's done. Then we'll get wiring with this. So after wiring everything up, the last bit is to wire the battery and the ground. So unfortunately this subwoofer is actually dead, so it doesn't work, and this customer has bought a second-hand subwoofer and amp. So the things with second-hand is you want to make sure that it's actually working before you purchase it. However, the customer is going to purchase a new one and bring it back to us. So what we're going to do is get the wiring done, and by the end of the video we'll have a new sub, new amplifier, and we're going to get this installed without a problem, as it will be a new product instead of buying a second-hand product which is going to end up in disappointment like this if it doesn't work. So let's get this wired up and all cleaned up, so when we get the actual sub it's much easier to just fit it on and just wire it straight to the back. So before we start wiring everything up and hiding the wires away, just want to show you a problem that may occur. So as you can see, everything's wired up and the power light is on, which indicates that the amp is working. However, there is no output coming from the amp. So as you can see here, the speaker wires are all in. However, it doesn't work with the sub.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
As you guys can see, we've got a new subwoofer now. So shout out to Halfords for helping us out and getting us a last minute sub. So we're going to wire this up now, and since the wiring is all done, hopefully this works and the customer will be happy with the actual results. So let's get into wiring this and finishing it off, and let's see how it is. So guys, we've come to the final stage. Everything's wired up and everything's working. So some of you might be thinking, why are we in a different location? It's because we had to get a few wiring changed, and since it's got dark we had to come to an underground car park to actually carry on with this work. And also we've got a visitor, and we've got a good friend of mine who's Keith. So this is my friend Keith. And he's come to help me out with the wiring of the subwoofer. And yeah, he's got an amazing car. Do you want to shout out your car?
Yeah, I've got an E82 M3.
Yeah.
Nothing big, but yeah.
He's got an E82 M3, that's nothing big for him. He's a humble guy, and his car is amazing. For those of you who know him, you know his car is sick. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll see what the customer says about the subwoofer install once we get everything cleaned up and wired together. So we've got the customer here, and we're going to play this beat by OP Beats on YouTube. So let's get the customer in the frame, and let's hear how is it, or let's see how his reaction is going to be once this is on.
Let's see.
Let's turn it on.
Ready, much louder. Wait for the beat to drop. Gee, that's loud already, you know.
That's the subwoofer done. And shout out to Keith for helping with the wiring and how
Very good, bro. I think it's 10 times better. Yeah, 100%.
how's the
Definitely recommend.
audio from the before to now.
10 times better, and it's still clear as well. Yeah, very clear. I can feel the bass on it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Much better, guys. Definitely recommend Alpha Customs. Come on.
So if you guys enjoyed that video and you like our work, please do remember to like, subscribe and follow us on our YouTube channel. So yeah, this car has been alphalized and it's time to go.